have a dream in your heart that you would say, oh, I can tell you right now what I want? Do you have something that you really desire? Raise your hand if you have something that you've always wanted, that you can tell me right now what it is.
You're calling on me?
Yes.
Publishing a book.
Publishing a book. Yeah, I want this to be as interactive as we can make it. For you, it's publishing a book. You dreamt about it, you feel it. Do you feel that it's coming for you in the future?
No.
No?
Not right now, because I'm working, I'm going to school, I don't have time. But soon.
We're gonna find a way to go to that. Well, I always knew what my passion was. I was one of those kids always talking in class. I was excited when they were like, okay, if you have to do math or science, I was like, no. But whenever they said, okay, who wants to volunteer to talk? That was me. And I was also the student of Sixta, wrap it up, I was always talking. That made me happy. So I discovered on a very early stage of my life that talking was something I really liked to do. And one of my best friends, we were together since first grade, and she remembers that one day, that's what she says, I am trusting her, the teacher went out of the classroom, and you know what happens when you have 25 kids by themselves? It erupted, and according to her, I stood up in front of everybody and I gave a speech about, staying quiet, she's coming back, I don't know what I said. She says she remembers, and I trust her. And then she says that after that, the classroom got really quiet. And I don't give myself credit because I don't remember that, but my friend, she's 42, just like I am. She still remembers that little girl who stood up and said something. So that, to me, is clear that I discovered very early on the power of my words, the power of my presence, and the impact that we can have in others and ourselves when we stand up for ourselves. So back to my last year in the Dominican Republic. I knew what I wanted. I've been working on TV since I was a teenager, on and off. So I had a job. Somebody offered me a job as an assistant 5 years prior to that one. And I said, it's in a TV news station. Okay, I want to be back on TV because I was doing that, but now she's offering me to be in the office. But I said, well, that sounds like a good route for me. And I said, yes. So I was an assistant for about 5 years. When the opportunity of being one of the hosts of the shows appeared, I was there, and she knew because I was constantly reminding her, I want to be there, I can do that, I've been doing this. When the opportunity came, I transferred to TV hosting. I produced my own show there, and I was happy. I was in my city. It's a small city in the Dominican Republic. But then, after 2 years working there, a lot of things changed in the empresa, in this business. And the new director said to me, we're closing the Santiago office where I was. So there goes my dream. So what I can do is I can offer you a 3-minute space in one of the shows talking about entertainment world, the chisme, the farandula. And I was like, yay, thank you, yeah, I love it. It was another opportunity to stay close to my dream. But when she offered that, I had to move from Santiago, where I live, to the capital to work in this biggest news station and doing something that was new to me and that I was not feeling called to it. But again, it was a pathway. So I said yes. And when I said yes, and I went to Santo Domingo, I said, listen, my mom, my dad, all my family's in Santiago. I'm staying here with my brother and his family. Like, I was single at the moment. I just want to work. Give it to me, everything you have. You told me 3 minutes, but let me tell you what I'm envisioning. I want a show. I want to work. If you need somebody who's going on vacation and you need somebody, count me in. If you need a voice for a commercial, count me in. And guess what happened? She did. I ended up in that year working on 3 shows a day, co-producing 1 show, and then I kept telling the universe, or God, or whatever you feel like, I kept saying, give it all to me, I want it all. They did a casting for a movie with an international director, I was there. I was doing commercial, I was doing it all. What happened? I fell in love with a man thousands of miles away in a city that is very rainy and cloudy and gloomy. And a lot of people had no idea. So the career is growing, I'm everywhere, I'm enjoying myself, and then I fell in love, and this is growing, and I'm in love, and oh my God, what am I going to do? And then when the moment came, I took my decision, and I've been in Seattle since then. I married my husband, he's also Dominican. Weird thing, we met on Twitter. Don't judge me. We became friends, and then it evolved, and then we dated for that year. And as my career was growing and I had everything I dreamt, I fell in love with this man, and then I'm like, okay. So I took my decision, and I took a leap of faith. And at that moment, I was just really at peace with my decision. Why? Because I've always embraced change. For some reason, I go past the scary feeling at the beginning, and I start thinking about what's coming next for me. And it's not easy, because there's a lot of outside pressure and things that we have to think about before we make these decisions. But I believe also in the power of listening to ourselves. At that moment, it was chaos. When I told my mom, when I told the person who hired me, who trusted me, she was so happy because I was doing all the things, you know? And then she's like, no, you can't. And I'm like, yes, I can. When are you leaving? And I said, next month. My mom went through a mourning process. Like, I swear she would act like I was dying. And it's because as a mom, I understand she was leaving her dream through me. But I couldn't, I knew in my heart what I needed to do. Because I've been doing it before. I've been trusting that feeling inside of me. And I said, I'm leaving. So what's your plan? I said, I don't know, I'm just going. I'm going to make something happen. And it did. Okay, maybe we do it through here. No? Yeah, no, is it? Let's see if I can just go here. Yeah. So there you can see some of the pictures of my different facets. So I went from being a TV host and 3 shows a day, all over the place in the Dominican Republic, to coming to Seattle and no career, nobody knows you. But that was fine with me. People kept asking me, so what are you going to do? I was like, I don't know, I will find a way. What I did, I couldn't work at that moment because I was under a visa that didn't allow me to. So I went back to school. I registered in UW to do a course about public speaking, about communication and strategic communication, and I started meeting people, and then I started volunteer in different organizations, and I started doing things that I loved. Oh, I can, if you need a bilingual host, I can do that. Oh, you need something to write that, I can do that. And then people back in the DR, they were like, oh, we're having this event, and you used to be the host. Can you come back if we cover? Yes, I can. That second picture is me getting ready for one of those big events, and I already had my kids, so I took him with me. So I knew I was not fully doing what I envisioned, but I knew I was going back to that. Because in my head, I was like, this is a phase. It may take a few years. It took me about 7 to go back to fully being back in my career. It looks different. I'm a voice actress now, primarily. I teach public speaking for people like me who speak a lot in their second language. It adds like another layer of nervousness. I do audiobooks, commercials, the ones you hear in the radio, all the things, voices, from my studio in my house for clients all over the world. But that didn't happen from one day to the other. But I always knew that some way or another, I was going to find my path. Okay, so why change feels difficult? We are programmed to feel weird and scared about a lot of things when they're happening. Our brains are programmed to say, hey, wait, this is not okay, this is scary. You're not ready for that. We are, our brain is programmed to do that. We have fear of the unknown. We have fears of what is going to happen. What if, and the what ifs are always kind of going towards the negative. Also, we have a lot of the risk of failure. But that is linked to the external social pressure I found. When I moved here, I realized there was a monster out there that I never encountered before. It was the expectations of other people. I was fine with my decision. I knew something was going to come up, or I was going to create an opportunity for myself, because that's the way I think. But the people telling me their fears, it really did something on me. And I didn't discover that until I moved here. My mom used to call me in the morning, so she would be like, we have a 4-hour difference in the winter. So she would be like calling me it was 11 for her, it was 7 for me. And she'd be like, hi, and I was like, hi. She's like, are you okay? Are you depressed? Oh my God, you want to come back? I'm good, I just woke up. I'm fine. And a lot of people, one of my friends, she had a store and she used to lend me clothes. You know, people, all the clothes that they use on TV are not theirs. Usually somebody, se la presta. So she used to lend me the clothes, and she said, the amount of people that comes here and asks me about you, like you're dead, you have no idea. And I was so shocked by that. So the fear, a lot of the times, has to do more with what we think other people are expecting from us than what we really are thinking about that change. So I am humbly sharing with you my process. This is how it looks for me when change is imminent, when it's coming, when there's nothing else to do. Understanding, embracing, adapting, and evolving. And now we're going to briefly talk about those things. Understanding what is happening is super important. Why? Because it gives you the opportunity to understand, and understanding gives us power. Why is this happening to me? Why am I choosing this? Sometimes it's a change that we didn't choose, that is just coming our way. Understanding all the pieces of the puzzle is really good because it allows us to see things as they are, taking the feeling out of it. So ask all the questions. When something is about to change in your life, try to understand, why is it happening to you? Who is involved in that situation? And then you can rationally think about what's coming next. When you understand also, you can think about questions like, what are my fears and my concerns? But also, what are the things that I can use moving forward in this? The second one is embracing the shift. And embracing is it's a beautiful word. I imagine like you're hugging something, and you can say, well, but is it always that easy to embrace something that I don't want or that I'm scared? Embracing is not saying, oh, I love this change. It's saying, acknowledging it. It's saying, okay, I see it. And analyzing what opportunities you have and what you can do to feel better about everything that is changing. Once you understand the change, you can either resist it again or embrace it. But it's crucial for us to embrace things because sometimes there is no way out. Sometimes you can change something about what is coming for you, and you get to choose. But sometimes you don't. So what do? Do you resist it and create more blockage for yourself and frustrate yourself and put that energy onto you? Or do you embrace it, realizing what is true about this and what is coming for you moving forward? Number 3, adapting to new realities. This one is one of my favorites. And adapting to new realities is not always easy. When I moved here, I was happy, I was at peace with my decision, but the cultural shock was really hard on me. Coming from the Dominican Republic, where people greet you with a hug, with kisses, where we're very loud and familiar, and nos encanta la fiesta y el abrazar, it was really hard on me. So hard that I have a top. You can Google. It's called, I'm the Weirdo Who Left the Elevator Note. I was frustrated. I was going into meetings or parties or whatever, and my thing was to say hello, to greet you, hug and kiss, or kiss at least. How many of you do that? No? Yeah? Okay, you get it. And then I find myself going to this meetings, meeting other women's and whatever type of meetings. And then I would go, and then people would extend their hand, and then we would do this weird dance. No. That simple thing was getting to me. But then I got on an elevator, and I like to see people's faces and say good morning. It's just good morning. I'm not asking for anything else. And to get, especially from locals, like that weird, or sometimes not even acknowledging my presence, that was getting to me. So one day, I left a note in the elevator of my building, and it said, how about more greetings? More good mornings. I promise you, it won't hurt. And then my husband comes back home, and he goes, oh, Pastor Dory goes, that was you. I go, what are you talking about? I know you, that was you, the sticker, the pink sticky note. Yeah, you got me, you know me. And so I had to learn. I had to adapt. And then if you see the talk, you would see my lesson. I adapted for a while, being a little cold like Seattleites, but then I went back to being who I am. Warm and huggy. And I would say to people, oh, I'm a hugger. Oh, okay, yeah, no, whatever. Like, you learn how to. But that process of adapting to new realities, it takes time. It takes time. But you have to be open to see also how others do it and talk about these things. How did you do it? How did you, what helped you? And being also open to know that the reality you're in may not be the one you imagine, but it can be different and better. I love talking about la vida que no soñamos, the life that we didn't dream of. Yo no soñé con esta vida que yo llevo. My dreams were different than the life that I have now. But I'm extremely happy and at peace with the life that I built for myself and for my family. So adapting to new realities means that to me is giving your new environment the opportunity to fulfill your soul. Whatever it is, a new career, a new relationship that you're in, it has to do with that. Adapting means taking steps forward, even when they're small. You have to have a vision. You have to know where you want to go so you can take little steps. When I moved here, again, I knew it was going to take time, and I see, oh, do they have Spanish television here? Yeah, they do, yeah. One channel, one show, 2 hosts that were there for the entire life. So I was like, okay, that's not going to happen, Sixta. What I do, I went to other groups, I volunteer a lot, I did a lot of work pro bono, but I was learning the culture. And I was learning how things are done here. And I was keeping my fire lit. Because we need to feed our souls. We think about career, we think about doing this, doing that. And in the routine, we lose ourselves. And when I moved here, I promised myself that I didn't want to lose myself. I did want to have a family and have kids and all of that. It's a lot of work. But I kept telling myself, you need yourself. So I kept doing those things here and there for free to learn, but also to feed that flame inside of me. And I hope that in the middle of a change, you find what is that flame for you. And you keep feeding it because you're going to need yourself. The last stage is evolving and growing. And in this one, we can find roadblocks. And you can say, how can I evolve and grow if I'm not getting through this last step, if I'm not feeling comfortable? Well, that is what it's all about. It's finding your way of growing. It's finding a new path. It's opening yourself to the new opportunities that life is presenting to you. I think change gives us the opportunity of, especially when you're moved in life to a new space where you have no idea how to start. I think we go through life and we get a lot of labels on us. This is what you do, this is what you're good at. And what I learned is that when we take off those labels, and life like puts us in a new position, you have nothing, but you have it all. Because you have an opportunity to build yourself again. If you change careers, you got nothing and you have it all. Because you can start over. Have any of you felt like lately that a big change is coming for you and you have no idea how that's gonna go? And do you lean more usually towards the positive or the negative? We all do. Scary thoughts, scary feeling, that's normal. But my invitation today is to see change as an opportunity to see beyond what is in front of you. To reimagine and to change the narrative of your own brain. Some practical tips to navigate change, things that worked for me are be patient with your journey and don't compare yourself to others. We tend to do that a lot, especially now with social media. It's really hard not to see others and go, oh my God, we're the same age, look where they are. Do not measure your success, how it looks for you, by what others are doing. Surrender to the inevitable. Surrender, I love that word. Surrender. When you can't do something else about something that is imminent, say it. And say it out loud to the universe, to God, to whatever you feel like. Say it, I surrender. I'm not going to resist this anymore. When we surrender, we give the opportunity, we open ourselves for other things to come, positive things to come, and we give ourselves peace. When you surrender, it's not saying I'm not going to fight anymore. It's saying I can't do anything about this in this moment, and I want peace for myself. Work with what you have, but with your goal in mind. When I went back to voice acting, I didn't went back. I was doing it as part of my job as a TV host. But I said in 2020, oh, my kids are now a little more independent, so maybe I can take some time to refresh. I thought refresh because I knew, oh, it's talking. Voiceover should be fun and just easy for me. I went back to school and I discovered it was not as easy as I thought. It's a whole world where you have animation, character voices, when you have audiobooks, when you have commercials, when you have e-learnings. And so I really liked it. It was a spark in me. And then my husband gifted me a microphone for Christmas, and I built it in a little corner of a room of my house with a room divider, my studio. And it was so tiny that I had to go like this to get in and then sit in the microphone and do all kinds of things to do my work from there. But I wanted to do that because I understood that, okay, this is my new path, and I was excited. And one day my husband said, the ceiling was almost collapsing on me, and he said, we gotta buy the studio, like a professional studio that costs a lot of money. And I said, no, I want to produce first, so I feel like I did this. I'm fine here. So I started with what I had, working in that corner of my room. And from there, I did dubbing for a show that aired in Paramount Plus. And from that little corner, I produced 20 audiobooks for the National Library of Congress. So I was uncomfortable, but I was working, and I had a vision. Years from there, I have my studio. It's a professional studio. I'm very comfortable. But had I not started uncomfortable with what I had, you leave your dreams out there thinking that somebody else is going to come and do it for you. Listen to yourself. Be selfish. Listen to others. Thank them. Because a lot of people love you, and when you're going through a change, and when you're doing something different than what they envision for your life, they're going to resist. And they're going to tell you you're crazy, with other words. And they're going to plant those little seeds of doubt in you. But you have to focus on what your heart is telling you. Listen to your heart. Also listen to, the facts. Get your facts together. But listen to yourself. Build mental and emotional strength. Protect your energy, your ideas, and your dreams. Practice. Or you're gonna tell people when they call you crazy for believing in your dreams. Because sometimes cuando no practicamos estas cosas, te llega la oportunidad y tú estás ahí trying to explain and then you're frustrated because you go, I didn't defend it, that change, that dreams I wanted. Practice what you're gonna say. I'm fine, thank you. But I'm gonna move forward. Move forward even with uncertainty. The path will clear as you walk it. You only need to see what is in front of you at the moment. Movement creates that energy that you need. And the more you move towards that goal, the more you do about it, the better you're going to see what is in front of you. Which one of those do you think is harder for you to do? Number 2, can you share why?
I'm a bit of a control freak. I like to have as much control, particularly over my own life, as possible. And so surrendering and being like, oh, okay, I can't control that. It is what it is very hard.
It's hard. But do you understand what I said about surrendering? It's not just forgetting about it or being happy about what is happening, but understanding that nothing is going to happen. And you have to decide, do I want to continue suffering and resisting and carrying this weight? Or do I want to put it down and see it more neutrally?
It's choosing peace.
Yeah. Anybody else wants to share which one is harder for you?
The third one, work with what you have but with your goal in mind. I personally think that it's easy for me to settle in place. Like, yes, this is what I have. I'm good at managing it, but it kind of feels hard to figure out how to break out of that routine and, work towards the goal. That's where I feel like I would get stuck.
I totally understand that. Like, it feels like it's pointless sometimes. Like, I've been doing this forever, but I've found that the value in working with what you have with a goal in mind is that sometimes we think we know the goal. I thought I knew my goal. And then life shakes everything up, and while you're working, other opportunities are going to come your way. And you're going to be able to fulfill that goal just in a different way. It's because you're moving and you're creating things for yourself. I am sure that you're going to find a way to fulfill that goal, even if it looks different. Anybody else want to share?
For me, I think the first one, like being patient with your journey. I just think it's super easy, especially in society today, to like really just be like, oh, like I want to be there right now. And for me, like I am a firm believer that like everything happens for a reason. Just like being patient is really hard for me. Just to like the fact that it's not happening right now and knowing like everybody's path isn't linear. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing. And don't you agree that social media also helps with that?
Yeah.
It's like we're seeing it all the time, people succeeding. Oh my God, they quit their job, they're traveling now, lo invitan a un hotel y le pagan todo. Or, oh my God, look at her, she got a promotion. What about me? Sometimes we need to protect ourselves and remind ourselves that our journeys are going to look different. We don't come from the same upbringing, we didn't have the same opportunities that others have. So I truly understand that. And I think that comparing ourselves, it can be beneficial. But it just depends on that line between I'm inspired by what they're doing. Oh my God, I can do that in my own way. We can always come back to ourselves and do it in our own way. And that line between that and going, oh, they have it and I don't. It's because I haven't done enough. So we gotta watch ourselves, the way we talk to ourselves when we see others. Use other stories to inspire yourself, not to beat yourself up. Okay, so let's do an exercise. And I want you all to get comfortable. Suelten las manos, let loose your body. And I'm gonna guide you through something, and I want you to please join me. Let's imagine. Close close your eyes for a moment. And I want you to relax and take some deep breaths. In and out. In and out. Feel your body, release all the tension that you have in you. And be at peace with yourself at this moment. I want you to think of some change, unexpected change in your life, or something that you're going to face soon, something that is imminent for you in your life. What is that change? How does it look like for you? Do you feel scared about it? Do you feel uncertainty in your heart, in your mind? Or do you feel excited about it? Even though you know that it's going to be different? How do you feel about that change? Think of all the things that can go wrong. If it's a relationship, if it's a job, if it's an opportunity, think of all the things that you need to prepare for. There are a lot of things, right? Now I want you to imagine yourself crossing a bridge, walking slowly but steady. Lift your chin up and start imagining a new scenario where those things that you want, where that change is reframed and is more positive now for you. Imagine how you feel when you start walking towards that and the doors start opening for you. That blockage is not gone at this minute, but it starts to be more palpable to you. It starts to seem like something you can do. Imagine your family supporting you through it, your friends supporting you through it, and the people who are not supportive fading away in the background. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about the possibility of things working out for you? How do you feel about the possibility even if things don't work out as you imagine them, you're learning something new. You're being brave. You're opening yourself to new experiences. And in the way, you're finding out more things about yourself. If there's something that you can take with you today, I want it to be believing the journey. Believe in yourself. Believe in what you are doing at this moment that is going to bring you somewhere else in the future. Now open your eyes and give yourselves a round of applause, because I want this to be the beginning of a whole new you, where you believe in yourself. And that where you not think that the world is perfect, but you're going to start seeing change as an opportunity. Change is not our enemy. Change is an invitation to exploration, to learn, and to grow. And I hope that if today I can leave you with something, is that it's an invitation to learn things about yourself that maybe are going to bring you to your best life. If anybody wants to share how you felt about that dream that you have, and if you have a plan about it, raise your hand. Or if you don't have a plan and we can help you maybe, also raise your hand. We have a few minutes to talk about it if you want to share, or we can do some questions. Anybody feels? Yes.
Estamos rodeados de pura juventud y es sorprendente casi la mayoría son hispanos. Puedo hablar inglés, puedo hablar español, yo prefiero español. Y me da gusto de que cada uno de ellos van por una carrera, por un sueño. Y como dices tú, muchas veces los cambios son difíciles y muchas veces tenemos miedo, porque tenemos miedo a enfrentarnos a algo nuevo. Pero si nosotros pensamos positivamente, todos van a llegar a un camino correcto, porque muchos dejan a sus familias y están por sí solos, y muchos, como les digo, vienen por la libertad, pero la libertad es responsabilidad, no libertinaje. Cada quien va a llegar a un lugar siempre y cuando pongan los pies en la tierra y digan por qué están aquí, porque muchas veces es el sacrificio de nuestros padres. Lo digo por experiencia. Eché a volar a 2 hijas. Hoy son una universitaria, otra termina el colegio. Y las 2 se viven felizmente. Ahora soy una madre libre. Y dije, mi responsabilidad de madre terminó. ¿Qué voy a hacer? ¿Tengo dinero para comer? Sí. No me falta nada. Tengo un esposo maravilloso. No me falta nada. Pero tomo la decisión. Y digo, a mi edad todavía puedo pensar. Y todavía puedo hacer algo por mí y por mi comunidad. Tomo la decisión hace unas horas atrás de empezar el colegio nuevamente. ¿Sí? Para mí fue difícil, ¿por qué? Porque son muchos años atrás que no voy a la escuela. ¿Sí? Enfrentarse, hablar inglés como todos hablan, fácil. Pero ya enfrentarse a una realidad de aprendizaje, a un inglés correcto y profesional, verdaderamente es un gran éxito, o es un big challenge for to continue y to get this one. Yo lo tomo. ¿Sí? Yo lo tomo. Nunca he ido a la escuela a aprender inglés. ¿Sí? Lo he aprendido a base de leyendo mi libro o mi diccionario. Tomo la decisión, voy al colegio y paso los exámenes y me dicen, ¿sabes qué? Yo no sé ni por dónde, ni idea tenía de que es necesario que tengas un consejero. Yo ni idea tenía. ¿Por qué? ¿Para qué necesito un consejero si yo sé lo que yo voy a hacer? ¿Por qué? Porque soy un ser humano responsable de mis propios actos. No, pero aquí no, ok, voy. Me dicen, tienes que tomar esto, porque ¿qué es lo que quieren de mí? Porque la verdad yo no sé nada.
Pero
Como
tenía eso en su corazón y lo siguió.
Sí, lo seguí y dije, voy a hacerlo. Dije, bueno, ahora me dicen, tienes que tomar clases porque vas a sacar el diploma de la high school. Aquí en Estados Unidos, sí. ¿Y qué tengo que hacer? Estudiar y en 2 años lo saco. Yo no voy a esperar 2 años. Dame las clases que necesito, que si es necesario no duermo, pero yo no estoy para desperdiciar mi tiempo. El tiempo para mí es oro.
La felicito.
Lo
Porque
tomo.
¿cuántas madres de nosotros quizás, sorry, ya se me fue al español. I don't want to leave anybody behind. How many of our mothers have that fire that she has? They're always thinking of others. Oh, ya los hijos están grandes, but now I have to take care of my mom. I wish that my mom took more opportunities. And I keep telling her, you still have life in you. So I really congratulate you on that decision and following that dream. And it's going to be hard. I'm not saying the change is easy.
No.
But it's an opportunity to know your limits, to know what you're capable of. And also an opportunity to say, you know what, I tried that, I'm not good at it, goodbye. It's an opportunity, it's an open door to experience. And then the more you know yourself, the easier it is for you to choose your own path. Any other questions or comments or anything that you want to share? I saw another, yes.
I'm actually here doing the translation, but I just wanted to, but I'm in my 50s, okay? And so to the young, I know that there's some 18-year-olds here probably, but you can always go back and redo yourself. Don't listen to what the media tells you, that after 30 everything is done. It's not. I've recently gone back to school, and whereas before, I could never get above a 2.1, I'm a 3.8 now. At my old, well, not old, but you know what I mean, older age. So never let anybody, especially the media, they're horrible, and they want to do that because of their own projection. That's what they live with. So if you can just focus and look in the mirror, this is me, this is who I am, I'm allowed to make mistakes. I think exactly what she's saying, and it's, Rosario, like my mom, okay, so.
My mom too is Rosario.
Oh my God, Rosario is praying here. No, seriously, like Rosario is saying, and also too, this is for people that have bilingual, the bilingual background. Recently, I was doing my very first podcast, okay? And I asked the gentleman producer, and I'm like, okay, I've been in the United States since the year of 1984, and I still cannot get rid of my accent. And he says, why would you? It's you. It's part of you.
I say our accents are a link to our roots.
Exactly.
Your accent is a link to your roots.
Yeah. So acceptance is key. So thank you so much for your, and then you too, amazing. Okay.
Thank you for sharing that. I love the part about, let's clap for her. I love the part about what society tells us, especially about age. That's gone. Forget it. When I was growing up, I used to think that una señora of 42 was an old lady. And I'm 42 and I'm still starting new things. And I have big dreams. And I'm not ashamed of saying it. I want more of life. And I want to have it all. And people will go, no, you can have it all. I can. Yeah, you're not going to have it everything together. Yes, there's times where you prioritize the side of you that it's a mother, a companion to your partner. But there's times to grow as a professional and to feel that fire. So don't let anyone tell you how your life needs to feel or needs to look. Okay? Everyone is different, every path is different. But in the end, we know what we want. Or if we don't know, only going through it, the only way through is through. Go through it and find yourself and find what fires you up. It has been an honor for me to spend this time with you. If anybody has any other questions. Oh, I heard that she mentioned a podcast. My podcast is about real life stories in Español. It's called Gente, Historias y Emociones. And I chose to do it in Spanish because ahí está mi corazón. My heart is and it's in Español, habla en Español. And people told me, maybe you should do it in English because now you're in the States. And I was like, nah, I work in English all day, every day, bilingual stuff. But this one, to tell the stories of my people, son todas historias en español, de gente latinoamericana, desde que me mandan historias de toda la parte del mundo. I want to do it in Spanish. So choose what it is that fills your soul and stick to it. Thank you so much for the opportunity of sharing my journey. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, Instagram, and if there's anything that I can help you with, please reach out. We are here for that, to support each other. Thank you.